that all men have inalienable rights to think freely, to talk freely, to write freely their own opinions, and to counter or utter or write upon the opinions of others.
This is from the Creed of the Church of Scientology. What other training did you go down to LA for? You mentioned your first
Oh
one
yeah.
being for the other stuff, but you mentioned there were like 5 times you went. I'd love to hear about the other
Yeah, I
four.
think it was 4 or 5 times. I went down to LA for supervisor training, didn't make it. Went down again later, made it. Went down a couple years after that for a special course called the ProTRs course that was released in 1990. Um, that was with some clay with what's what they added a thing to it called clay table auditing, where you're doing an auditing session and you're making clay figures. It's kind of weird. And then but I had to be trained in how to deliver that because it was a new release. And then a year later, or 6 months later, I went down to LA again for the Key to Life and Life Orientation courses. And I had to do those classes because I had to learn how to deliver them back in Santa Barbara. So those were, I think it was 4 times. And then I went down once or twice for some quick correction stuff.
For those unaware, do you think you could briefly describe the Key to Life and Life Orientation courses?
Sure. Yeah. Key to Life was basically a grammar course. It was all focused around and centered on communication. And it's a big, big course. It takes people like a year or two to get through it on a part-time schedule. It's big. And full time, I was on it for about a month to get through the whole thing. That and the life orientation course, which was much shorter. You cover grammar, you cover small common words of the English language. You literally sit there with another person and you define and make sentences and do all this word clearing stuff on all of the small common words of the English language. A, as, but, for, to, all these words. I understand. I can define these words for you, that kind of thing. Then the life orientation course was sort of an effort to use Scientology techniques or use certain Scientology methods to examine your life, kind of put it on a big chart and sort of lay it all out and analyze it and figure out where are your weaknesses and where are your strengths and all that. These both of those courses are not actually delivered anymore in Scientology. They've kind of been put on the back burner, and maybe someday they'll come back out again. But Miscavige doesn't seem to be in any hurry to do that.
I was gonna say, do you know the reason at all that they took them out?
Yeah, I think like them. They came out in 1991 and they were supposed to create this great big impact and change Scientology forever and clear the planet. It was going to be this great big thing, and everybody was super excited about it. And it was just one great big fizzle. And so then the people who were specially trained to deliver that service kind of wandered off to other jobs because there wasn't anybody signing up for the course. They got everybody through it, and then that was kind of it. And it just kind of fell by the wayside.